Hey everyone, what I'm about to share is exactly how we're finding arbitrage properties in 2025, and it might not be exactly what you're thinking. In the last 30 days alone, our team found 92 pre-approved properties for short-term rentals. These are properties that we were looking for on weekdays only, so we were finding maybe close to 5 to 6 a day. But this is the exact strategies that we're currently using in these methods to find these short-term rental approved properties. So if you're looking to get started in Airbnb arbitrage and find your next best deal, this video is for you. We spent the last few years talking to owners, pitching corporate leases, and today, like I mentioned, I'm going to share exactly where we find all of these opportunities so you can go ahead and do the same thing. If you don't already know, I'm Rachel with LoCasa, and today we're diving into something game-changing. 3 proven ways to find properties specifically for short-term rentals. So by the end of this video, you'll know some of the best places to find opportunities that are STR approved. So starting with number 1, which is probably one of the most popular places, and we all know them, we all love them, third-party advanced listing sites. These are the sites like Zillow, like apartments.com, like rent.com. It's really big in Texas, har.com. Even sometimes Redfin. Like there's all these hot pads. There's a ton of different places that you can go and you can find these opportunities. At that point, when you're on these advanced listing sites, there's not a bunch of owners just raising their hand saying, hey, I'm ready for arbitrage, I'm open to Airbnb. So you do have to go through, you have to call each and every one of them, right? And you have to figure out which ones are open, which ones are not. You gotta get the yeses, you gotta get the nos. What I've kind of found is usually when you pitch a certain number, let's say you pitch 100. Out of 100, you can usually get about 10% to say yes. That's what I've seen. Now, it really just depends. I guess if you want to craft your pitch a specific way, I'm all about the numbers game. Obviously, you don't want to go in there not knowing what you're going to say. You want to have some type of script, but in most cases, it's about 10% once you talk to them. I remember in the past, I had went through and called, I want to say close to maybe 20 owners. And out of the 20, I was able to get on the phone with about 9. And then out of the 9, I believe 5 said yes. So really, if you talk to enough and you get familiar with it, you can get a lot more yeses. But when I say, I'd have to go back and look, honestly. But what I've noticed with the team is depending on how many properties they call, they can normally get 10% yeses. So that's what you can kind of expect when you're calling. Now, depending on your criteria and what you're looking for in a deal, you can go ahead and you can put search parameters around it. You can have filters like maximum rent price, preferred bedroom and bathroom count, amenities, things like that. And then from there, you can look and specifically find deals that align with kind of what you're wanting. There's also other ways that you can set up notifications. We use Zillow. That's one of our main platforms, but you can always set up, like I said, notifications to be notified if new deals that match what you're looking for surface, or if they come available for rent. So that's always a big winner, because then you can reach out to them right away and potentially have them be the first one to get in contact and secure that deal. So that's one of the great ways. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Next one is Facebook groups and marketplace magic. So this next method is, I believe, is going to keep crushing in 2025. There's specific groups on Facebook that you can join. We have our own, which I'll link below, where we post a bunch of different opportunities that are already pre-approved for short-term rentals. You also have other Facebook groups throughout the platform where there is literally Facebook groups dedicated to owners that are open to short-term rentals. Now, keep in mind though, this is one of the things I want you guys to keep in mind. A lot of the time, it's not the owners posting these properties. It's property finders, it's acquisition companies like ours, which is not a bad thing. Just keep in mind that if they are going to find you a property that's already pre-approved for short-term rentals, they're going to usually charge a fee. So just expect that. And again, nothing wrong with it. It's just want you guys to be aware, because usually it's not the owner posting it. The owners normally will be the ones posting on Zillow, apartments.com, rent.com, things like that. But if maybe you're wanting something very specific, or if you're in a group with a bunch of landlords and you have a specific type of property that you want, and you want to kind of pitch yourself as an accommodation company and how you're going to take care of their home and you're going to pay your rent on time, well, then you can absolutely do that. You can kind of craft a message on Facebook to be able to say, hey, my name's blank, I own blank. We're looking to sign a corporate lease with an owner who is open and communicative and that wants timely payments and rent every month. And then of course you can mention that it's going to be used for subleasing and Airbnb. A lot more owners are open to the idea of Airbnb and arbitrage than they were before. They're not so against it. They're pretty much educated on it. You just have to overcome some of those objections that they might have, like no parties, you're going to pay the rent on time, what assurances can you give me, things like that. Now, some of the warning signs just to kind of look out for when you are on Facebook or on Marketplace or anything like that is just verifying information, right? If it's an owner that's posting their property, search it up online online, see if it looks like they also have it posted on other platforms and if their name aligns with the name that's on Facebook. Same thing with property finders. Ask them for referrals. Who have they worked with before? Ask them for past clients. See if they've helped any of their clients obtain other properties. See what type of methods they use for payment. A lot of the times, if it's bank transfer or wire transfer, if you don't get the deal that you initially inquired about, well, you're screwed and you're probably not going to get your money back. But if they're using platforms like Upwork, or if they have Stripe and they have these secure platforms and they're not trying to get you to wire it directly to their bank, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying the likeliness of the deal, if it doesn't go through, what are their methods of getting you connected to another opportunity? What are their methods of getting you in touch with a different property that aligns with what you're looking for? And on top of that, if you see a lot of other property finders that are posting deals that are in markets that are super regulated, like Austin, Nashville, Savannah, Georgia, these locate New York. Even if the owner has said yes to short-term rentals, it may not be in the correct zone. It may not be regulated. It may not even be eligible for a permit. So therefore, you go and you pay them, and you get connected to the owner and you sign that lease, and it's not eligible for a permit. It's only a matter of time until the city comes and shuts you down. So that's also something that you need to look out for. Okay, last but not least, my absolute favorite. It is going to take some time to build up to this, but if you are planning on building relationships with these owners, these representatives of these owners, the agents, the management companies, building a network of referrals. So this has been our secret weapon, because every time we talk to a new owner or a management company or a representative, we're always saying, do you have any other properties? Do you know anybody else that has properties that wants to rent them out, that's open to this type of model? Do you know who else we can connect with? So asking those questions when you are on the phone, like, hey, I know that this might not be for you. Maybe you got to know from them. Do you have any other investor friends? Do you have anyone else that's renting a home that you think would be open to this type of model that I can call? Anybody that wants a reliable tenant in there that's going to take care of the home, that's going to make sure that it sustains its value, all of those things. So just making sure that you are covering all of your bases, right? And you are asking the questions that are necessary to be able to put you in a better position to talk to someone that will lease to you and your business. It only takes one good connection. You never know the endless possibilities that it could provide you. And you never know, maybe if you have a realtor that you might know that works with a lot of different owners that might be renting their homes out, you could offer them some type of referral fee, something along those lines. It doesn't have to be anything too big, but you could incentivize them. So that's always a good idea as well. And I know I kind of ran through this, but that's really how simple it is. Online listing sites, Facebook groups, and referrals. That's literally all you need. You could even just pick one. You could stick to apartments.com, you could stick to Zillow, you could stick to Facebook groups. You could build your entire business off of one of those platforms. It really is very simple. It's just a matter of going out and finding the deals, making the calls, pitching the owners. And of course, before you rush off to implement these strategies, you want to watch out for some common mistakes, because I know I gave you a lot, but let's confirm. And I kind of went over this in the last one, is verifying short-term rental regulations first. Like I said, if you're looking in markets that are super popular, that you're so excited about, like Anaheim, where Disneyland is, well, you better verify the short-term regulations first, because if it's not available, which I'm pretty sure Anaheim no longer is accepting licenses, the only way you'll be able to get a property in Anaheim to do short-term rentals with is if it already has a license. We've completely X'd out Anaheim from our search. We don't even look in that market, because the simple fact, it'll take us forever to find an opportunity. Same thing with places like Lake Tahoe. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that if you're looking for something, you better be ready to put in the work, because markets like that, you got to know what you're looking at. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know what's required, because short-term rentals is not like long-term rentals. You really do have to understand what is needed to obtain a permit. On top of that, you don't want to skip due diligence on property condition. If you find a property that you like and you're super excited about it, if there's red flags, don't ignore the red flags, especially if it's your first deal. I know how exciting it can be. You just got that yes. You don't even care if it looks profitable. You're going to make sure it's profitable yourself. Slow down. There's always another deal. There's always another opportunity. If you're finding out that a lot of the property is in bad shape, if there's a lot of maintenance that's needed, if the owner isn't that responsive, if they seem a little bit careless, those are red flags, which I'm going to go over in a different video as well. So some of the different red flags to look out for. But owner communication is huge as well. Are they trying to make sure you take care of all of the maintenance? Are they going to take care of all of the maintenance? How quick is their response time normally? Who's going to be the maintenance person on call? Like, all of these things matter, right? So making sure that you understand exactly who's taking care of what, if it needs some work, if you're willing to put in that work, or if the owner can do so beforehand. Now, if there is some work that needs to be done, if there are some things that could be fixed, you guys could always work something out, or that might be a good segue to ask for a concession, which is always nice, because then you'll get some free rent and you'll have more time to furnish the home or get it set up and then make some profit while you don't have to pay anything. Now, the last thing, and one of the main reasons why people won't get a deal, is they fail to follow up. Following up is so important. It doesn't matter what it is. Following up with these owners that haven't answered you, that need to check with their spouse first, that are kind of open but they need to think about it, like all of these things, you just have to follow up. Because I still call properties. I still will call owners. We're now starting to look for purchases. Calling these owners once and expecting to get a deal on the first phone call is almost delusional, right? Because then if they do say they're open to it, what's the next step? Do you want to go tour it? Do you want to apply? Do you want to kind of put together some terms and pitch it to the owner? Well, in order to do that, you have to follow up, right? You have to schedule, you have to discuss. So following up and putting in the effort to actually evaluate the deal and make sure it's a good fit for both of you is going to be one of the most important things as well. So make sure you don't neglect that, okay? Now, here are some of the best ways to maximize your success rate with these phone calls and this outreach. Number one ways is create templates for all of your outreach. So if you have some scripts, maybe you want to test out different scripts and you do like an A/B split test. Those can be exciting because then you get a chance to test things out, see what works, see what doesn't. Maybe do a batch of 10 calls here with this script, a batch of 10 calls here with that script. See what is kind of catching owners' attention, which one is getting them to kind of raise an eyebrow like, that sounds interesting. So being able to create different templates, trying different scripts, just trying different things. It's okay to fail. We've all been there. We all do it. Part of the process. So if you are planning on calling these owners, make sure you have certified scripts. Another thing is setting up a tracking system. So usually this would be in the form of a spreadsheet, making sure you have their name, their phone number, the address, and then being able to do a quick search on it, maybe including the link to wherever the listing is, if it's on a Facebook group, saving the post. All of these things are going to be important to be able to be organized and know what you're looking at, who you need to follow up with, what the status of the property is, things like that. So definitely setting up a tracking system. You can also batch your search time. So maybe if you're somebody that's super busy and you can only call properties 1 to 2 times a week, maybe you call on Wednesdays, you follow up on Fridays, and then you call again on Wednesdays, you follow up on Fridays, and you have that system. Because even if you have a limited time, if you can just commit a couple hours throughout the week to be able to call and follow up with these owners, you'll see a lot more success than you think. And then last but not least, I'm going to say it again, always verifying permits and regulations. Literally, this is one of the most important things I'm telling you right now. The worst thing you could do is get into a property and then find out you can't even obtain a permit. And on top of that, this goes into owner communication and terms and contracts, is making sure that you have something in your contract. And I'm not a lawyer, so always discuss with one, just got to point that out. But making sure that you guys have some type of verbiage in there. If for whatever reason the city bans short-term rentals, if they change the permits and the regulations, you're able to get out of the lease. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get out scot-free. I'm just saying you'll have the opportunity to get out without paying a ton in lease break fees. I know I'm giving you a lot. Let me stop. That's all I really have for you. Those are the 3 different places that we're finding all of our properties in 2025. Go ahead and comment below your favorite platform to be able to search for properties and call owners on and find deals. Maybe someone else can get value out of it and they can try it as well. Where do you want to start looking for deals if you haven't already started? Or do you want to look on a third-party website like Zillow or apartments.com? Do you want to hit the Facebook groups? Do you want to reach out to some of your local realtors and see if they might be able to refer you an owner that has their property for rent who might be open to this model? There's a ton of different ways that you can go about it, but try to figure out one platform and then you can always expand into others as time goes on. I would definitely just focus on one for your start, okay? And then figure out, okay, what kind of approach am I going to use? Do I want to keep it short, simple, and to the point? Or do I want to build a relationship? Do I want to kind of do a slow pitch or a slow burn, as you may say, and go about it that way and see what works best? Again, you can split test these scripts, see what works best for you and what you enjoy most and what you see the most success with. And then setting times aside during the week to make sure that you follow up, to make sure that you're calling on certain times, to make sure that you're checking in and seeing if there's anything else that the owner may need from you, and just following up until the deal is no longer available for rent, literally, or until you get a no. That's probably going to be your best bet. It's just continuing to follow up, because that's what a lot of people lack. A lot of people don't follow up. If you follow up, your success rate will go up. Okay. And like I said, a couple of red flags to look out for, and then a couple of keys to success. Really hope you guys got some value out of this. And if you've been nodding along and you really don't have time for all of this research, well, I've got something special for you. At LoCasa, our company, we've done all of the heavy lifting. We've created a marketplace of pre-approved short-term rental properties. So every single listing on our website comes with owner's approval for STRUs. So these are owners that have already raised their hand. They said, yes, I'm open to short-term rentals. Yes, I'm open to arbitrage. What kind of tenants do you have for me? We also have complete regulation information. We have searched in over 300 cities and counties throughout the US, and we have complete regulation information along with steps to obtain a permit in a detailed spreadsheet that you'll be able to get on our website, along with yearly projections. So on every single listing that we find, we either include yearly projections from AirDNA, we include P&L statements if it was used as an Airbnb before, we include any other numbers that we can come up with to be able to share with you to help you make an educated decision on if you think it's a good property to add to your portfolio so you can scale. You can view all of these opportunities by going to LoCasa.com, which I will link below. That way you can skip the searching and start scaling your STR business. As always, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell to catch our next video on all the best STR success strategies. Thanks, guys. See you next time.